Well, welcome, colleagues. Welcome to the International Conference on Physician Health for 2021. Thank you for attending this meeting. It is the first virtual International Conference on Physician Health to be held. It was supposed to be held last September, but for very obvious reasons and very relevant reasons to the theme of this conference, it has had to be postponed, and hence we're holding it virtually. As you know, the ICPH is a joint effort between the American Medical Association, the Canadian Medical Association, and the British Medical Association, which takes place every 2 years. And it's an important arena for physicians and other health community leaders to come together to learn from each other about what makes us well and what keeps us well as we do our daily tasks. In the course of the coming week, there will be several plenary sessions, 60 themed oral presentation sessions, and 20 interactive workshops. So there's plenty to see and do. You can visit poster exhibition, there's a trade exhibition, charity exhibition, booths, and so on, and you can contact each other and have virtual meetings with colleagues throughout the course of the meeting. Various extracurricular activities, yoga and mindfulness and so on, and everything will be available on demand for 12 weeks after the closure of the conference. Now, with me this afternoon, we have the President of the American Medical Association, Dr. Susan Bailey, and the President of the Canadian Medical Association, Dr. Anne Collins. And the theme of this conference is a vision for humanity in medicine. What does that mean to us? What do we think will emerge in our thinking round about this? And I'd like to ask my two colleagues, what does it mean for you, this notion of humanity in medicine? Susan, let's start off with you.
Humanity in medicine means to me that physicians must think of themselves not just as technicians, not just as leaders of the medical team, but fully human and in their own right, having their own set of emotions, their own set of personal needs, and that can't be ignored. We have to be able to take care of ourselves and take care of our the griefs that we suffer, the joys that we celebrate, in order to be fully present for our patients.
Yep, I can see that. Anne?
Well, thank you for that, Harry. A vision for humanity in medicine means to me this. There are three key words that come to mind: respect, gratitude, and kindness. And I take that right down to the day-to-day practice level, that we have to demonstrate this to each other. And so we have to give and we have to receive, those three critical elements that are so essential to a human experience. And so we need to look for opportunities and create opportunities to extend that to our colleagues and those who work around us in our everyday practice.
Yeah, I would agree with absolutely with both of those comments. The problems that our colleagues have faced around the world over the past year and a bit have been monumental. There have been huge demands on us in terms of managing patients, but much more than that, huge demands on our humanity. The problems in intensive care units when there are no spare ventilators and some new patient comes in, the stress of deciding whose ventilator gets switched off, this notion of moral injury, the fact that we're having to make decisions that go against the very foundation of our ethic in medicine. is something that I think many of our colleagues will struggle with for years to come. And when you add to that the fact that so many of them, we have lost so many of our colleagues through COVID, many will have had it and partially recovered, but will be suffering long COVID symptoms and so on. Now more than ever, I think, is the time for us to get together and share solutions to these problems. One of the things I have learned over the years in trying to improve public health has been storytelling. The importance of someone telling you, I did this and it worked. You know, we rely very much on randomized controlled trials and so on in medicine, but human to human storytelling, you know, the story of putting your arm round someone and comforting them and how that transformed their lives and so on. What I would like to see in the course of the coming days is our colleagues getting together to share their stories and to share how that compassion and care for each other has made their lives better. So I'm looking forward to this, but I'm especially looking forward to hearing those human stories. Would you like to say in a sentence or two what you would want to get out of this conference for your members, Susan?
Yes, thank you. This conference is such a special opportunity for us to reach our arms across the sea and share the incredible trials that and victories that we've had in the past year. Physician well-being is not something that we can take for granted. It is something that we must work on. We must be intentional about. And yes, we do need the randomized controlled trials to figure out what really works and what doesn't work. But you know, the chance to tell stories, to share our experiences, the commonality of what we've experienced in the U.S. and in Canada and Britain and all over the world, I think forms a very powerful bond. And I think realizing this bond, realizing that we're not alone, and realizing that we truly are all in this together, fighting towards the same goal, sometimes can help fill some very empty tanks.
Absolutely. And
I think that what I would like to see come out of this for our members and for everyone's members, for all of our colleagues, is that they are not alone. And that regardless of where you practice, whether it be in an ICU or in your clinic, your office, that it's okay to feel the vulnerability, the fear, that we have all felt at times over the past year, that everyone's role is critically important to supporting patients, those that have been extremely ill with COVID, but also those that have had treatments delayed, and have felt a great deal of fear themselves. That we recognize that our role is invaluable, but that we are not invincible, and that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to share that with others.
absolutely agree, and it's really encouraging to hear that on both sides of the Atlantic we are sharing exactly the same kind of experience and the same kind of hope and expectation for this conference. So, without further ado, I should introduce the first keynote session here, which is themed as A Vision for Humanity in Medicine. It will be chaired by Dr. Christopher Simon, who's Strategic Advisor in Physician Wellness and Medical Culture for the Canadian Medical Association. And he will be joined by three panelists, Dr. Jane Lemaire, Jennifer Warren, and Professor Michael West. And hopefully that will kick us off. And I hope that we can share our thoughts at the end of this conference. I hope at some time we can meet in person and talk more about this and take this whole idea forward. But the big lesson for me has been just how much our colleagues have suffered over the past year, and what a great responsibility it is for those of us in positions of leadership in these associations to support them. So without further ado, I'd like to thank you, ladies, for joining me in this introduction session, and I look forward to bumping into you virtually over the course of the next few days. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.